This is the new Tecware Clear Switches. This is a linear switch from Tecware, and this is one of the 4 new switches that they have released. So how do they sound and feel? Let's find out. What is going on, guys? Ox here and welcome back to my channel. We are back with another Tecware Switch sound test and review. So we are already done with their salmon tactile switch, and today let's all take a look and listen at their take on a linear switch. So this is the Tecware Clear Switches. As you can see, of course, it's a clear switch or a transparent switch, which I think currently has a trend right now. Akko would be releasing one, and I already saw KDT has one, and another brand which I forgot the name of. Personally, I haven't tried clear switches, so this is a first for me. The materials on these are quite the basic ones that you see on other switches, but instead of POM, it's using a long pole nylon stem. And unlike their salmon switches, this doesn't use the wipe, and it's just using polycarbonates on the top and bottom housing, but more on that or our material breakdown. By the way, the switches were sent for a review, but I wasn't paid to make the video, so of course I'll give you guys my unbiased and honest opinion about the switches. So today it's going to be our usual review, a sound test comparison between the stock versus lube, some quick comparison with the other switches like some JWK or even Akko switches. And of course, I'll be breaking down the materials that was used on the switch, and if you want to hear my personal thoughts and opinion on the switches, please do stick around at the end of the sound test. And speaking of sound test, a quick disclaimer before we start. That the sound and experience may vary depending on your keyboard build, meaning we might have a different experience on the Tecware Clear Switch. The keyboard that we'll be using is of course the Vega 65 with a polycarbonate plate, a PCB to plate foam, and one case foam. The switch was lubed with a Krydox 205 grade 0 and 105 grade 0 on the springs. The keycaps that was used was a GMK set. So with all of that out of the way, please do enjoy the sound test for the Tecware Clear Switches. So that was the sound test for the Tecware Clear Switches. Please let me know on the comment section on what you think about them. Share your own thoughts and opinion, and maybe I'll try to send them to Tecware as a feedback. And before we talk about my own thoughts and opinion on the Switch, you already know what's next. Let's break down the materials that was used on the Switch. As you can see, these are a 5-pin switch and is using an MX style housing. Now for the top housing, it is using polycarbonate. Same as the bottom housing, it is also using polycarbonate. And for the stem, it is now using nylon long pole stem. Lastly, the springs, which is a 63 gram and has a 60 gram actuation force. So that was a material breakdown for the Tecware Clear Switches, and if you made it up to this point, I would like to say thank you for staying, and of course, please don't forget to hit the like button. Again, the sound and experience may vary depending on your keyboard build, so we might not have the same experience on the switches. I am again using the Vega 65 with a polycarbonate plate, a PCB to plate foam, and one case foam. The switches was lubed with a Crydox 205 grade 0 and 105 grade 0 on the springs. The keycaps that was used is a Geek Arc PBT set. Now finally, my thoughts on the feel. Let's first address that these came in pre-factory lube as seen in the box, which I actually forgot to mention on my last video. Now you know, switches that comes in pre-factory lube are somewhat inconsistent and would depend by batches, and I was never really a fan of those. Now, I don't know if, again, it's with my batches, but when I opened them up, some of the switches came in with no lube at all, or maybe it was really applied lightly. So please let me know on the comment section if your batches came in like this, and don't worry, I'll send this as a feedback to Tecware. So on stock, for me, they are a bit sluggish as you can somewhat feel the plastic feeling when typing. It's not really a switch that I would recommend using on stock, and there is also a little bit of spring pings. Now, once lubed, of course, they feel more smoother, and to be honest, it's nothing really out of the ordinary. They could be better, they could be worse, and they're average at best. Typing on them feels solid nonetheless. I like the 60 gram actuation force. It's a very nicely weighted switch, and this is what I really prefer in terms of switch weight. And also, I recently get these questions a lot lately, so in terms of gaming, I wouldn't really recommend this, especially if you are playing a game that requires a slow and precise movements, as you might find it a bit heavy due to the actuation force. Now let's move on to my thoughts on the sound. On stock, the sound was all over the place for me, and again, I would really recommend lubing them as it will sound more subtle. Honestly, I am impressed. Even though they sound like a standard linear switch, this is again their first take on a linear switches, and somehow managed to make it sound pretty decent. It's more in that subtle clack sound profile and almost sounds deep, which I really like on how it sounds on my build. It's like in the middle, it's not that quiet or not that loud for my preference. So overall, they sound really decent and somehow feels good enough for an average linear switch. But again, I really don't recommend using them on stock, as these switches really needs to be lubed to really bring out the best out of it. Also, I would like to add that Tecware mentioned that Science Studios would be offering them in packs of 10, so yeah, if you are on the budget and on the fence on getting them, I suggest get the 10 pieces and try it first and go from there. I would really recommend them if you are looking for a medium weighted linear switch for typing, and it's really nice due to the actuation force. I really see myself using them on a daily basis and would actually try to break them in. So that is it for the video, guys. I hope you all liked my review on another Tecware switches. I really enjoyed using them, so if you can, please don't forget to hit the like button as it helps out my channel a lot. And let's all aim for the usual 50 likes. I know we can do it. Again, thank you so much Tecware for sending them over. All of the links would be in the description down below. So what's next? Well, we do have 2 more Tecware switches to try, but we'll be taking a break from now and we'll be reviewing some KTT switches along the way, so please watch out for that this week. So if you want to see more switch reviews, don't forget to hit the like button, share if you want, and of course subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys on the next sound test.